just
so maybe
is going.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the University of North Florida's Department of Communication and CW17. I'm Nora Zacharia.
And I'm Katie Connors. We're here each month with stories about life on our favorite coast, the First Coast.
And this month we're looking at what makes Jacksonville a city unlike any other. Finding friendships isn't always easy, but through a mutual love, the road to a connection can become stronger day by day. When you think of close friends, what comes to your mind? I usually think funny, caring, or just someone that makes me laugh. Well, that's exactly how this group of ladies see each other.
The high school years are often a tough time of transition for teenagers. Finding friends and fitting in can be difficult. One way to meet new people is to get involved outside of the classroom. For these young women at Sandalwood High School, dancing for the Dazzling ladies is opening the door to success on the dance floor and important friendships of it.
When I first came here, I didn't know anybody, and now I'm close to every single person on the team.
Jalea Hill created the Dazzling ladies dance team back in 2015. After graduating from this high school, she wanted to build a team that was more than just a club.
Not only do we practice and perform together, we bond together.
Hill's impacts on the girls have been significant. Kebriana Renfro and Kimberly Williams don't see her as just their coach.
Well, she's not even just our dance teacher, she's our friend.
She makes you believe in yourself, you have to believe in yourself.
The Dazzling ladies have numerous awards, but that's not the most important reason of why they dance. Foster started dancing when she was 2 years old. She danced to relieve stress, but also to bond with her teammates.
My favorite thing about dancing is that you can express yourself in any type of way, and that sisterhood that you build.
Brenda Perez also loves to dance. But besides improving her craft, she appreciates the important life lessons she learned from the team.
And I definitely learned to share the spotlight, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, just learn to share and love more and become one. You can't dance as an individual all the time, you have to dance together.
However, dealing with teenagers is not easy all the time. Hill says it's important to teach the girls healthy communication techniques.
Because as they go off in to adult world, a lot of them will join sororities or clubs in college, and they'll know because they were on the dance team, okay, this is how a sisterhood should be.
Dancing has not only brought the girls together, it has also helped them dealing with stress and hard situations. Renfro says the dancing team helped her through her hard time like an extended family.
It was actually when my granddad died, and I was just sad, and dancing makes me feel like I got something to live for. It just makes me happy.
There's no doubt these girls love dancing and they also love each other. Marielisa Martinez, Inside Jacksonville.
The Dazzling Ladies Saints has come a long way since its start, and this group has become more than just a dance team, but a family. The young women are looking forward to performing during basketball season and at competitions, so be sure to be on the lookout for this tight-knit group in March during the NDA Nationals in Orlando.
Our 5 senses help paint a picture of how we view life. It's easy to overlook what we've never had to live without. That is, unless something you relied on was taken away from you or never given to you in the first place. Join me as I learn what it's like to live without your hearing.
Sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. How we communicate with others often determines how we are viewed by them. It varies from the tone in our voice to how we carry ourselves in everyday situations. However, for some people, things are not always so simple.
Whether you're enjoying your favorite meal or just appreciating nature, your senses are a part of your life. Today I get to be a voice for 2 new friends who know exactly what it's like to lose one of their senses.
Joshua and Nathalie started dating this year after meeting at the University of Central Florida. They soon found out they have something unique in common. Joshua was breeched as a baby, meaning he was born feet first. The pressure on his head caused severe damage to his hearing. Joshua's parents didn't pursue the medical approach, rather his immediate family learned sign language. At this point in his life, Joshua chooses not to pursue any form of hearing aids because he doesn't consider being deaf a stumbling block in his life. There is not enough education about deaf community, deaf culture, deaf issues, deaf awareness out there. So all we can do is improve our knowledge and spread out that knowledge. We just can't hear. We are the same, but we just can't hear, that's all. It's probably better that we don't hear. Nathalie Bopst, Joshua's girlfriend, has 2 cochlear implants. Unlike Joshua, Nathalie depends on her ears. Nathalie's mother learned sign language alongside her growing up, while the majority of her family knows minimal. She grew up with hearing aids, allowing her to develop speech. She chose to get cochlear implants because her hearing aids stopped working for her.
I had to learn how to hear, but it's weird because that becomes your new normal, so you don't have, I can't compare what I hear now to my hearing aid because they're both normal to me at different times, if that makes sense. So it's like your brain just adjusts to it.
How someone deals with hearing loss varies as much as people do. Around 100,000 cochlear implants have been implanted in the United States. Unlike hearing aids that make sound louder, a cochlear implant helps replace a damaged inner ear, creating a sense of sound. However, they do not work for everyone, and not every deaf person wants one. The Journal of Deaf Studies and Deaf Education states that around 1 in 20 Americans are hard of hearing or deaf, but like everyone else, they do not want to be treated like they're different. According to Joshua and Nathalie, growing up without one of your senses can be difficult, but it all depends on how you choose to overcome your battles.
Joshua and Nathalie are 2 of the estimated 4 million deaf people in the United States. Although growing up without their hearing had its fair share of challenges, they said it's important to know that it doesn't define who they are. If you know someone that grew up without one of their senses, tag us at Inside Jacks UNF and tell us their stories.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have had a loyal fan following since the franchise began in 1993 and continue to show their off-the-charts team spirit 24 years later. Duval County has given life to football Sundays with some of the most hyped tailgates in the NFL.
The world of tailgating is not a new concept, as many might believe. This pregame ritual is said to go back nearly 100 years, and Jaguar fans definitely know how to keep this tradition alive. Jeff Albany says he's been coming to the Jaguar games since 1995 and has been a loyal season ticket holder since coming home from college.
So most of us grew up here in Jacksonville. We're natives, so our parents were taking us to the games once we got the franchise.
Throwing the ultimate tailgate is actually pretty simple, says Nick Koster. Some of his best memories happen when he puts himself in a group of his most rowdy friends, especially when they're preparing to go out and represent their favorite Duval team.
Oh, it's bringing all these people together. You know, some of these people you won't see for weeks or months at a time.
Dedicated fans of the 904 will continue to head downtown and support their favorite team wearing their black, teal, and gold. For Grace Durkin, the pre-gaming experience is a weekend outlet that helps take her mind off her job. Being out anticipating a win from her favorite team is what she enjoys the most.
I think just being with all my best friends and just all the vibes here. You know, we have the best fan group in the NFL, probably.
If you want to know the right way to tailgate, look no further than Jacksonville, Florida, home of the Jaguars, a team that truly embodies the spirit of the city.
Jackie Hellet, Inside Jacksonville.
And if you haven't been to a Jacksonville Jaguars tailgate, the last chance to experience some of the most passionate Jaguar football fans get ready for a home match is December 31st at 1 p.m. Tickets to the game can be found on the Jaguars website, and parking prices start at just $15. And coming up next, we look at how a local resident is using yoga to help prisoners in their rehabilitation.
Also after the break, we meet a resident who has some not so conventional pets. We'll be right back with Inside Jacksonville.
Oh, my heart's beating outside of my chest.
You're doing good.
I feel like a rabbit.
You're doing fine. You're doing great.
Oh my God. Welcome back to Inside Jacksonville. This month we are meeting the people who make the First Coast our favorite coast.
Some of us have a little furry friend who is waiting for us to come home after a long day of work or school. But others find that a furry friend isn't always what they want. Our very own Morgan Yonge went out to meet these exotic creatures that some find just as cute as a man's best friend.
Most people love their dogs and cats, but it takes a special kind of person to own and take care of exotic animals. Snakes, lizards, turtles, and monkeys don't usually come to mind when you think of man's best friend. But for Sabrina Clarke, co-owner of Xtreme Exotics, making friends comes naturally.
I came home from the hospital as a baby and we had snakes and gators and lizards and turtles and all that kind of stuff. So we had a cat and a dog and we had a snake and a gator, and it was always normal to me.
Most exotic pets require a permit regulated by Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission.
We do have venomous reptiles on site, definitely require a permit, and a lot of people are against exotic animal ownership because they think that irresponsible people can just go buy a cobra. That's not how it works.
Venomous snake permits require thousands of hours of training. Stephen Brezil, owner of Xtreme Exotics, has owned reptiles since he was young.
I started learning more and more because my parents kind of put a restriction that says you can only have so many tanks. So then I started going, okay, what species can live together? How can I get around this?
Exotic pets are really cool, but it's important to do your research before owning one. So go online or go into a store and talk to a specialist before you decide you want to own an exotic pet.
A lot of times, people aren't prepared for how much time, money, and dedication goes into caring for these animals. For example, the red-tailed boa starts small, but can grow to be 10 foot long on average.
This is a snake that a lot of people get as a baby and don't realize it can get this big and be this strong. So unfortunately, this is one we see a lot that gets some size to it. People don't think they can handle it, and then they bring it in and drop it off. So just one that we really have to educate people about. Yes, as a baby, they're super cute, but this is a lot of snake.
We usually try to strive and push a lot of people towards patience. You know, you don't have to have it today. You know, it's a living creature. You may want to own it as a pet, but it also is going to own you and be part of your life. You can own all these amazing animals, but you definitely need to know the right way to go about it.
We're really big about education before you walk out the door. And if we don't think that they'll do what's necessary, we won't sell them an animal. You know, our business is not more important than the life of the animal.
Xtreme Exotics is a drop-off spot for exotic animals that can no longer be cared for, and it's also a great place to learn more information about exotic pet ownership.
The worst thing somebody can do is keep an animal in a situation that is not healthy for the animal just because they're afraid of getting in trouble. Bring it here, drop it off, no questions asked, and we'll take care of it.
Morgan Yonge, Inside Jacksonville.
If anyone has or finds an exotic pet they need to release, you don't have to call an expert. You can just drop them off without question at Xtreme Exotics on Phillips Highway.
A new style of yoga makes its way to the city. Yoga for Change is the new wave, and it's a yoga class that brings the mat to prisons, veterans assistance, and rehab facilities. As Inside Jacksonville's Kelton Givens shows us, this organization is sure to break barriers.
It's an organization beyond the ordinary, offering services to underserved populations.
So I became involved with Yoga for Change because I'm friends with Catherine, the founder of Yoga for Change. She had an amazing journey that helped her create this nonprofit organization and invited me to be a teacher in it.
Jayme Hiller is a yoga instructor with Yoga for Change. She says the organization gives her the opportunity to teach yoga in unique places.
We bring it into the facilities where they are, such as the prisons, the schools, the VAs, and the halfway houses, the rehab facilities.
We weren't able to get into a prison facility, but we did get a video from Facebook showing yoga participants in action at a prison camp.
While Yoga for a Change proves to be beneficial for its participants like myself doing my downward dog, you can also find that instructors like Melissa Moulton, they even enjoy the benefits from the classes.
I was actually just praying about, I want to do more yoga with underserved populations. And then I was scrolling through Facebook and there was an ad for teacher tryouts for Yoga for Change. And I said, I don't even know what that is. So I looked at it and I immediately went to the tryout. It's like, I'm doing this.
Right now, Yoga for Change is local, but if instructors have their way, it may expand.
I would really love to see Yoga for Change spread on a national level because we are accessing the people that are kind of hidden in our society, the people in the shadows, the people forgotten about.
Kelton Givens, Inside Jacksonville.
And if you're interested in how to get involved with Yoga for Change, head over to our Inside Jacksonville Facebook page to find out more.
When you think of those newbie 21-year-old drinkers, does beer or liquor come to mind? Maybe it shouldn't. Millennials are breaking the mold and developing a taste for wine at a younger age that's driving the market for it.
The youngest millennial just turned 21. What's their drink of choice?
If I go out with friends and I'm not really looking for a crazy wild night, I just want to feel good or get a little buzzed, I would go for wine instead of beer.
Yes, wine. New research from the Wine Market Council shows millennials drank almost half of the wine in the United States in 2015. 160 million cases to be exact. Daryl Wolfe, the wine manager at Total Wine, says that millennial interest in wine doesn't come as a surprise to him.
I think most wine drinkers, millennials included, wine is something to be savored, it's something to be enjoyed. Maybe people are getting a little tired of beer all the time.
The attraction to wine doesn't just come from its flavor. Its packaging and looks play a big role in why it's being picked up off the shelf.
A pretty package goes a long way.
According to the Wine Market Council, 30% of high-frequency wine drinkers are millennials. They're also drinking an average of 3 glasses of wine per sitting, more than any other generation.
National studies show wine is trending among millennials, but right here in Jax Beach, that's easy to see for yourself.
Jessica is a manager and bartender at the Wine Bar in Jacksonville Beach. She's excited to see more young people coming in and drinking wine.
Wine is beautiful. It looks fancy. You feel fancy when you're drinking it, but that's part of the ambiance to it. That's part of the curb appeal.
She thinks wine is an important part of history.
Behind every glass of wine that you have, it is an untold story. It's a history lesson. You don't know anything about it until somebody puts you on the right path. That's where I find value in my job, is to cater to the younger crowd, the millennial crowd.
Tiffany Salme, Inside Jacksonville.
When did you start developing a taste for wine? Let us know by tweeting us at InsideJacksUNF.
And coming up after the break, we'll find out how a new form of exercise is beginning to make a name for itself, despite how unconventional it may seem.
And we'll take a trip to a local art studio and meet the artists who rent out the spaces for their work. Stay with us. Inside Jacksonville will be right back. Welcome back to Inside Jacksonville. This month we're going through and seeing what makes Jacksonville our favorite city.
Art is what makes our imagination come alive. Painting and sculpting are just some of the ways that artists bring their dreams out. But one local studio tries to help out these local artists by renting out spaces for them to work in. And I decided to go out to meet some of these incredible artists and see what it's like to work in those studios. Jacksonville's urban core is full of industrial-looking warehouses without any character, but one building in the Riverside neighborhood is different. At first glance, Cork might seem abandoned, but the graffiti is actually the work of artists who share its studio space. Named for its location at the corner of Roselle and King, the space has become a home for local artists like Princess Rashid. Princess says Cork is more than a workplace. It's a community that inspires and motivates her.
Artists to be able to work not in a vacuum, because that's when we work in our studios, especially when we're working in our houses or in our garages, we're working it's just us. And that's fine, and you can get your work done, but just being able to pop in and pop out and seeing other artists working, it motivates you. What I found is that sometimes when you're in the studio space with other people, they drain you.
I'm standing right here in the courtyard where you can clearly see that artists not only have an imagination for their canvases, but also for the buildings, which gives the studio a sense of pop for the rest of the Riverside neighborhood. While Princess focuses her talent on printmaking, Tony Wood, another artist at Cork, has been painting for more than 25 years. He says he discovered his love of art in grade school and has been pursuing his passion ever since.
I'm almost exclusively figure and face, and that's what I love to do, and I really like to paint narrative figure, which is sort of what this piece is that's behind me. I try to have my work, even my portrait work and my face, the faces that I do, have some kind of emotional resonance.
Tony usually uses real-life models or photo references to make his masterpieces look more lifelike. He says he wants his art to make a human connection.
This particular piece of art was created for a show here at Cork and the Yellow House, which is next door, that was based on Al Letson's poetical about bullying. And the show was displayed during October, which is anti-bullying month. I was a little more literal with the way I painted it because I wanted it to sort of have the full impact of emotion. I didn't want it to be subtle.
Outside of special events, Cork is not open to the public, making it a well-kept secret. For many artists, the studio is a second home that gives them space to showcase their passion. If you're interested in seeing the artwork in person, check out corkartsdistrict.com for special events calendar. You can also find profiles on artists like Princess and Tony there or on their social media.
Pole dancing is not what many people would consider an Olympic sport. Inside Jacksonville, Sarah Carter gets the inside scoop from a couple of hopeful pole dancing enthusiasts.
According to Katie Coates, president of the International Pole Sports Federation, pole dancing is practiced by 5 million people worldwide. The dance style originated in India and China, and since 2006, there has been a campaign to bring the sport to the Olympics.
So the debate is if pole fitness is a sport or not. We spoke to an athlete and a pole fitness instructor to get the inside scoop on this sport.
Fernanda Robel is a pole dancing competitor as well as a recent graduate. With her new degree in sports law, she knows that it'll be many years before a pole dancer ever steps foot on the Olympic stage.
Law at UNF, and I got a really good teacher that explained it to us what makes a sport to be in the Olympics and what the steps are. It's a billion different steps and requirements that you need to have to get. One of the major ones is to have federations in each country. And you're supposed to have a unified federation for each country, and they should get together to have an international federation. On top of that, they need a set of rules, which we call the Code of Points right now. So a set of rules that are standardized and that all federations and countries follow in each
Pole dancing is much more than your average dance class. The sport derives a lot of moves from gymnastics, acrobatics, and ballet.
That's the strongest part of my body. Definitely a lot of core, because you need a lot of strength to lift.
Claire LeBlanc is a veteran pole instructor. Although she is aware of the competitive world, she prefers the positivity of her dance studio.
You know, I think it's so empowering, and it's everybody feels good during class and after class. it's just a total uplift from the beginning to the end. If someone comes in feeling bad or not confident, they really do end up feeling more confident at the end.
Whether a person is serious like Robels or a little bit more laid back like LeBlanc, they share one common denominator. Pole fitness is for everybody.
So I have had all type of women, and it fits everybody. There's no size or, and there's nobody that's turned away from pole fitness. Everybody is welcome.
Many people look forward to the inclusion of pole dancing as an Olympic sport. However, a survey by Metro UK revealed that 42% of people disagree and think there are bigger problems to solve. Sarah Carter, Inside Jacksonville.
If you're looking to get involved in a new sport or just want to have a new workout routine, you can take classes at InShape Ladies Fitness or visit their website at inshapeladiesfitness.com for more information. That's a wrap for this edition of Inside Jacksonville.
And if you missed anything from today's program, just visit our website, unftv.com, and click on Inside Jacksonville. You'll find expanded versions of our stories, photos, interviews, and other extras. That's unftv.com, Inside Jacksonville.
You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram at Inside Jacksonville. Thank you for joining us.
And we'll see you next time, Inside Jacksonville.